How are you? All right, we are live on YouTube. I coulda, woulda, but I should have put this at a better, so they were both facing the same way. So if Facebook, if you wonder why I'm looking over there, it's because I'm looking at YouTube. YouTube, if you wonder why I'm looking over here, it's because I'm on Facebook. So work smarter, not harder, right? Hello, everyone. Okay, so this week it's Tuesday training. Those of you, welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Tuesday training. You're good. Excellent. How's the weather up there? I don't know about, like, is it like so cold up there? I mean, I'm assuming. I don't know because I've never been. One day I would like to come visit you guys. But I live in Kansas City, Missouri. Well, right outside of Kansas City. I'm in Lee Summit, technically. 20 minutes from Kansas City, really. And we are like really like it's like Mother Nature was like, oh hello, it's summer. So we're like in heat indexes of 100 and something crazy. So anyway, that's where we're at. So I try and stay indoors. Jacqui doesn't like to heat. Yay, you made it to a live. Yes. Has it been hot for you too? Oh, see, okay, all right. So I'm really bad. You can ask Amanda. Amanda usually has to tell me what it is in Celsius because obviously we're in Fahrenheit. Jacqui sucks at math. Just FYI, in case you're looking for a fun fact about Jacqui, I suck at math. That's why the Lord invented calculators. Okay, so let's talk real quick instead of me just rambling on here. Let's talk real quick this week. It is SFR 2020 week. Oh, is anybody else so excited? You should be if you are not. Let me, ooh, I did that without pulling both of them down. Look at that. Superstar. Okay, for those of you, I'm going to show YouTube first because I know y'all have seen this. Every year when we do Scentsy family reunion, usually it's in person. This year it is virtual. You've already learned so much, Nikki. That's fantastic because that's what I wanted to talk about today. There's some amazing content and it's fantastic. And so the ribbons we all get very excited about. So here's my official lanyard for the year. Here we go. Boom, boom, boom. I'm really just having a blast. And I much rather, I mean, we were supposed, for those of you who don't know, we were supposed to be in Salt Lake City, Utah for this family reunion in person, right? Doing all the things, giving all the hugs, getting all the selfies with each other, right? Oh, I feel so thank you so much. And yes, you're going to learn a ton, not just from me, but from amazing people. And we should be in person, but we're not, COVID, and that's okay. Because, and this is the way that I kind of look at it. Look at all those, you're gonna get there too someday. Don't worry. You just haven't gotten them yet. Remember the key word, yet, right? So, yet. Yay, you're early. So the really cool thing about being able to really, and maybe it ties the theme together because the Lord works in mysterious ways, right? Obviously COVID has done a lot across the globe. I'm not just talking about myself or we have to look broader, right? And so if we really look across the world and how this has changed so much for so many, for those of us in the US here, you'll see that I don't know if your states are one of them, but mine is in Missouri, where our numbers are rising again. And for those of you who may have kids that are getting ready to go back to school or should be getting ready to go back to school in August, you guys may be finding yourselves in this unknown territory of what is going to happen. It's stressful, just in the scope of everything. But I kind of tie that into SFR this year because, and for those of you who don't know, SFR is Scentsy Family Reunion. So if you're watching me on YouTube and you're like, I don't know what SFR is, that's what it is. We like our little, abbreviations over here in our world. So, I really think that it ties in. And I'm going to say that it ties in simply because this year, see, it's your first year. And that's another thing that I'm going to talk about, Stephanie. That's fantastic. It's really, how do I want to say that? How do I want to word? I don't even know how I want to word it. So I'm just going to say it. I may come up with more clever wording later. I don't know, because I'm kind of having a pain flare at the moment. But with our theme this year being perspective, okay, that's our theme. It really makes you look at things in a new perspective, right? Looking at things from a different point of view. And if you followed me, especially y'all on YouTube, if you followed me for any amount of time, if you've listened to any of my trainings, anything like that, then you know that one of the things that I have been consistent in for years is I like to hit that button where I actually take a look at my business. And usually it's at like towards the end of the month, right before the beginning of a new month, right? This happens for me every single month, and I take like 10 minutes to sit there, and y'all know I'm digital planning now, right? So that everything's done in here. Oh, Crystal, your grandmother passed away last week. I am so sorry. I am so sorry. I'm sorry, I'm going to take a minute. I am so sorry because, for one, I'm sure that's extremely hard. My grandparents, all but one, I only have one grandparent that's still alive, but all of them passed when I was younger. So I can only imagine how hard that is to deal with at the moment, but especially knowing that, obviously, I don't know I'm not going to ask you to share any circumstances, not at all. But I know from what I see and what I read is that, unfortunately, a lot, whether they're in the hospital or maybe she was in a long-term care facility of some kind, they're sometimes alone when that happens right now. And so I will most certainly keep your grandmother in my prayers this week, and you as well, for strength to get through that, because that has got to be really hard right now during this time. So, all right, sorry. I apologize. I had to take a moment. That was worth a moment. So, it was due to COVID. Oh, Crystal. I am so sorry. Know that your thoughts and your prayers are with us. I know we're here live on YouTube, and I know that the people on YouTube who are watching this are also virtually sending their thoughts and their prayers and strength for you and your family. So know that you are definitely being thought of right now. So as we think about how Scentsy Family Reunion is now due to COVID, we're able to do this virtually, right? So perspective. You're getting lots of prayers from YouTube, Crystal. I hope you realize that. And the Scentsy family is very strong. So, perspective really, like I said, I try, and I've incorporated this into my personal business for years. I don't even remember when I actually started it. I wish I had wrote it down, like when I started actually doing this. But like towards the end of the month, the last week of the month really, and getting ready to start a new month is when I start like looking ahead, right? Like booking any parties, trying to determine how is my paycheck going to look for next month, right? Because if y'all don't know, now you know, this is my full-time job, right? So this is my full-time income. So how am I going to get that full-time income, right? So that's when I kind of take that reflective step and I look back. And if you don't, I mean, by all means, however you take your business, whether it's a planner, right? I know a lot of friends who are Erin Conondran fans and Happy Planner fans and all of the whole thing, right? Whether it's that, whether it's just a notebook. I was a notebook gal for years, and I've talked about this a lot, right? Like I still have, there's 4 different notebooks down there from 4 years. Every single year it was a new notebook. And every time I did a training, I would write my notes down. Or if I was, closing out a party or whatever, I'd write notes about the guests, or, she's looking for this, but we're sold out, or it's no longer available, right? Like all those little things, right? And I kept that notebook because it was my one spot to keep everything. I have gone digital as of 2020. And it honestly, for me and my business, has been the best thing I've ever done, simply because it's taken my notebook concept to literally a digital concept, right? But at the same time, because it's digital, I don't have to start a new notebook every single year like I did, right? That's why I've got 4 notebooks there. I can tell you that that's from 2019, 2018, 2017, 2016. They're all down there. And I did the same thing that I'm doing. I'm just doing it digitally in my iPad. And for those of you who are going to ask, because I know you're going to ask, I get it all the time. I use GoodNotes 5, the app. I bought it. It's $7.99, a one-time purchase. Boom, you're done. Really, that's all you need. Now, I happen to go also to Etsy, and I found an Etsy, and do your research, but you can look on Etsy, and there's people who actually design digital planners, right, with clickable links and all this fancy stuff. I want to be the person. My goal for 2021 is to create my own digital planner, just so y'all know. I'm holding myself accountable in this video. But I actually purchased mine. I looked around because I knew what I wanted, right? I wanted to duplicate kind of what I'd been doing on paper, but I wanted it to be digital. So I wanted a month by month, and then I wanted a weekly layout, because what I do, and I will show y'all this real quick. Hopefully you can see this. But I just went to Etsy and I found, what is the name of the app? It is GoodNotes 5. Remember, this is an iPad, so it's Apple. I honestly don't know if GoodNotes is available on Android, but if it is not, let me just tell you right now, right here and now, don't give up hope, because I also have a Surface tablet, and actually I gave it to my oldest daughter. It's an older Surface, but when she starts her college is when I'm going to get her an upgrade. But beside the point, mom life, right? Mom life, it happens. Okay. Anyway, so if you're Microsoft, or if you're Google or Android or whatever, even if you're iPad too, if you have the Microsoft Suite, right? If you either have bought that or it came on the computer, you have the laptop even, you can use OneNote within Microsoft. Okay, it's just like PowerPoint and Excel and Word and all that, right? It's in the suite of Microsoft, and it basically does the exact same thing, because I can tell you, when I was working in my corporate life, my 9-to-5 that I retired from in January of 2018, I used OneNote for everything when it came to work. And so we would have our laptops, and I'd carry my laptop from meeting to meeting to meeting to meeting to meeting to meeting. That should have been emails, but they were meetings, because everybody wants to schedule a meeting. Anyway, so I did the same thing there in my corporate job, and once I started doing it and it started working for me in my corporate life, I was like, why am I not using this in my Scentsy life? So I actually started using it in my Scentsy life, and then, obviously I left the corporate world. I am a corporate America dropout, 9-to-5 dropout, right? Left that, retired from that, had a whole year of figuring out how I'm going to create new systems, things like that. And as of January of this year, like I said, I got my iPad. I actually earned it. I'm going to give myself a toot of my own horn. I earned it on one of our past incentive. Slingshot, was it the Slingshot incentive? I think. And we had an option to get a $300, I earned the level to get a $300 gift card from one of like 3 places, like Nike, the Marriott, like hotel chain, or Apple. And of course, I'm an Apple girl by heart. Anyway, so I chose Apple, and I actually got the 7th, I'm holding it upside down, sorry. I actually got the 7th generation iPad from earning that incentive, because I took my $300 gift card that I earned for my Scentsy incentive, and I bought, because the new 7th generation iPad, if y'all don't know, I think the starting price is like $299. I literally paid $24 out of pocket for my iPad. Thank you, Scentsy. Income disclosure will be in the comments, okay? Because I got to do that for government rules and regulations. And you can get free engraving. I don't know if y'all know this, but when you get an Apple product, you can get free engraving. And I know this is, oh, no, is it backwards for you guys? I don't know. But you can see I had it engraved with Jacqui Duran, earned it. Jacqui Duran, earned it. That's how I had my iPad engraved, because it was my reminder to myself that I worked my business. And just by working my business, I earned this. This is now my amazing business tool, right? Amazing business tool. Now we are in the middle of an incentive now, or we just finished our Grow with the Flow. So those of you who maybe if you chose if you got to level 2 or level 3, you were able to choose a gift card with that incentive. So if you chose the Apple gift card, when you do get it, I would highly suggest, because it'll probably come in like September or October. It took us a little while too with the Slingshot one to actually get the credit. But when we got the gift card, I would truly, if you're like anything like me, if you're a planner, if you're one of those people who is normally like a pen and paper person, I would highly, or if outside of that you want to invest in something for your business, hello, tax write-off. I'm not and please, all right, here's my note for those of you who, you know, all right, I am not a tax professional. Please consult your tax consultant for how to take tax breaks and advantages and write-offs and things as such. Okay? Okay. I've now covered my bases. All right. But anyway, anything that you use towards your business as an independent consultant, whether that's for Scentsy, whether that's for a trucker who is an independent, you know, driver or whatever, like this is not just exclusive to Scentsy, right? So if you're an independent person and you actually have a business or run a business from your home, you know that you can take, hopefully you know, if not, again, still consult your tax professional. We clear? We clear. Okay, so don't be like, I'm turning Jacqui in. She told me how to do a tax hack. No, I'm telling you to consult your tax professional. Anyway, it can be a business write-off for those of you who are working your business and you need something to work your business. So if you buy one, save the receipt, right? And then you can use it, give it to your tax professional, and they will help you with that. Anyway, but this has been a complete game changer for me, because again, I can keep everything that I was keeping, because I had a planner and I had a notebook. Let me make that clear too, right? I've got my 4 notebooks here. The planners are all over there in bags, because like the planners were like my everyday, like this is my to-do list, whether it was for my business. Those planners were my business and my work 9-to-5 corporate life, right? So those are all over there because I don't really need to go back and look at those. See, on our team, I'm not going to tell y'all on YouTube, but Crystal, yes, connect with Crystal. Okay. Thank you, Crystal. For me, like I said, I thrive off of, I'm a type A personality. I do have some OCD with my anxiety and my other mental health stuff, right? But I do have a touch of that, and there are some things that I am very OCD about and very type A about, more type A than OCD. But I have to have things written down. For one, I'm a visual learner. So if I write it down, then I'm more than likely to remember it and to learn it, like commit it to memory, right? When I say learn it, I'm talking about committing it to memory. So that's how I learn the best, right? So for me, digital planning is just that. It gives me the option to have that planner detail, right? Where I can put my to-dos. This is what I want to do this week. These are my weekly goals, or this is where I want to be, or this is what I need to follow up on, right? Those reminders. And then it also, because I'm digitally planning, right? It's a whole planner, and it gives me plenty of different tabs. Again, this is just like OneNote. So for those of you who are Microsoft people, or you don't have an iPad, or you do and you're like, I don't want to spend $7.99 for a Google or a GoodNotes app, whatever, If you have the Microsoft Suite, again, whether you're on your computer, on your laptop, so you can do this on the computer too. You don't have to have a fancy thing, right? It's just, it's a little harder to carry the computer with you. I mean, for real, I've tried, right? So if you just have a laptop, that's fine too. Get Microsoft, or if you're not already subscribed to Microsoft Suite or haven't bought it, subscribe to it. You can do a monthly option. So go to Microsoft.com. You can get the Microsoft Office Suite, everything, right? Word, Excel, OneNote, PowerPoint, I can't even think of what else is all in there anymore. Outlook, right? All those things, right, are included in the Office Suite. And I pay like $6.99 a month to subscribe to that because I still use, even though I'm Apple, right, I still use Word and Excel and everything else, right? I just do. But so what I did is I actually went to Etsy. Sorry, I totally dragged that out for nothing. I went to Etsy and I found an Etsy person who had created a digital planner, and all I did was buy that planner from her. It was a one-time purchase. I want to say it was like $5.9. It was under $10. I want to say it was like $5 or $6 maybe for the whole thing, right? But the cool thing is with a digital planner is that you can actually duplicate pages. Hey, Lisa, look at you over there and not over here. See, that's why we do these things. All right. Just Sharon, just switch to digital planner. Yes, Sharon, let me know if you have questions or need help. I'm here for you. That's awesome. That is awesome. Like I said, this changed my life. But anyway, you can do this within GoodNotes. You can make it yourself. But like I said, I was still kind of learning. So I went to Etsy, just found a planner that I thought was cute, would work for me, downloaded it, uploaded it into GoodNotes. So it's there in GoodNotes. So all I have to do, yep, Sharon did it. Yep. Yes, and the stickers. And here's a hot tip for you too, a little golden nugget. If you are a digital planner and you want all those fun stickers, right? Here's the cool thing. You can buy digital stickers, and Sharon probably knows this, right? Off of Etsy. You can go to Etsy. People in Etsy, they're amazingly creative people. I love my Etsy shops. I get a lot of my t-shirts from Etsy. No, this is from Ezra and Eli, I think. My mom life shirt. But anyway, I get a lot of t-shirts from very creative and fantastic people on Etsy. I will say that. I will give them all a shout out because I'm the one who will be like, hey, that's somebody who's supporting a family, right? Just because they don't do Scentsy doesn't mean that they're still in it. Their why isn't because they're supporting a family, right? Behind the scenes. So I'm all for supporting families rather than the big businesses. Now, I still shop at Target and I still shop on Amazon, so don't hate me. But after that comes Etsy, okay? So a lot of my things come from those great men and women who are creating amazing, amazing things on Etsy. I wish I could be someone like that. But the very cool thing about these digital planners is that you can duplicate the pages. You're going to be moving from paper. Oh, it disappeared on me. You're going to be moving from paper to digital, I think is what it said. And you'll have 3 happy planners for my business. Need to consolidate. Yes. Nikki, I will tell you, I did the same thing. Literally, all 4 of those notebooks. I didn't bring the planners out because, again, that was like to do for the day, right? Like I didn't really put notes in my planner. But if you put notes in your paper planner, by all means, pull that out too. I pulled all 4 of those notebooks out. It took a couple of days. It was usually like when I was watching TV, had a little bit of downtime. And I went in and I created like a notes tab here on my digital planner that I bought from the gal on Etsy, right? And just added more pages. So it's unlimited pages that I can use, right? And I literally like transcribed all of the notes that I had from my paper to my digital. And so that's why those notebooks still live down here. Just for whatever reason, I need to go back, and probably because I'm type A and I'm like, I can't get rid of that, right? But they can just live down there now in case of emergency, maybe. I don't know. But everything is now in my digital planner, and that helps keep me organized. So not only do I have my planner, my to-do for every day, but I have tabs here for when I do trainings. Here's my tabs. I have mine leadership. So that's everything for me leading my team, right? So that might be trainings that I'm personally doing for myself to be a better leader. to know how I can improve, right? Things like that are things that I need as a leader. Like that's where I write like all the stuff that like my passwords to get into certain things, right? Coaching, I have a tab for coaching. That's whenever I do a coaching call, it all gets written down. Every person on my front line has their own page in my digital planner. So that's really cool. Yeah, exactly, Nikki. Yes, totally do it. You will love it. You will be so glad that you did it. It's worth the time to sit down and to transcribe from the paper to the digital. It totally is. Then I have a tab that is strictly dedicated to Scentsy SFR. I'll probably change the title as we go farther into the year, but right now, that's where everything that I'm learning from SFR this year is and is living. And then I'll move that out to maybe either the leadership tab or maybe the training tab. It will become trainings. And maybe I just rename that tab to, I think before it was just called, actually, I don't remember what it was. But anyway, it was something more generic where I just kind of like wrote notes, like random notes, and then I would move them to other places. Then I have my tab that says Atomic Habits. So that's like where my systems live. Do you guys have systems? Do you have systems? Do you know what a system is? A system is something that you do every single time blank happens. So what do you do every time somebody joins your team, right? Is your front line. You have personally recruited them. What do you do? That's a system, right? What do you do when you have a front line or a down line, further on down, like in generations, who has, yes, you like it for, it's perfect for systems. It is. But you could do it pen and paper too. So all of y'all who are like, no, I can't do that now, whatever. You can still do this pen and paper. You just may have to have more notebooks. At least I did. I wrote so much down that I was like, this is ridiculous. I have to, if I was working outside of home or outside of my home office, I had to like take any notebooks that I thought I might need, right? And it was just too much. I was like, now I can just take my iPad. I'm good. Anyway, Atomic Habits. So that's where all my systems lead. So live. What do you do every time someone promotes? What do you do? There's a system for that, right? You should have a system for that. What do you do every time you have a opportunity session or a join session, whatever, a conversation, right? When you're talking to somebody who is thinking about joining, or maybe you're talking to them, whether it's in person, or for me, it's usually more virtual. So it's a message on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube, what have you, right? And I'm discussing that and they're really considering it. I like write all that stuff down there. What do I do for those people, right? Do I send them out an opportunity packet? Yes, I do. What do I do every time someone orders? Every time someone orders, like off my PWS, personal website, okay? Every time somebody who is not like in a party or is not a current host and I just get an order and it's, a lot of us refer to it as that random PWS order. I just like to think of it as a website order, right? I hope it's not random because I hope that what I'm doing when I'm marketing is working. That's what that means to me. Stephanie, you totally need to get a tablet. Yeah. Like I said, I will say it totally has changed my life when it comes to this. It was a game changer. Pen and paper are great. They're great. But like I said, I kind of outgrew them. I was like, I need it to be all in one place rather than dragging around 4 notebooks all the time. And then I'm type A. So it would drive me nuts if like I was in a hurry and I was writing notes from whether I was watching a video training or an in-person training, or I was doing a coaching call with someone on my team or having that joint conversation, right? And I'm like writing notes and I'm too in a hurry, so they weren't pretty. So my type A personality had to be like, oh, now I got to rip that page out and I need to write it prettier. I'll be honest, I have issues. I had to write it prettier. Then I had to highlight the portions I wanted to highlight, right? Okay, that's me. That's just Jacqui. That's how I was made. That's how I work. So it would drive me nuts because really I was doing double the work. simply because I am who I am. No. That's just me, right? So so I'd have to write it all over again. So not only was I doing it the first time, I was doing it a second time sometimes, right? When we talk about IPAs, there's another synonym, acronym. Would ask my husband, but I don't want to get him involved. IPA, income producing activities, right? The time that I was spending rewriting those notes was time that I could be spending either having another conversation or working my business or doing marketing posts, right? Right. We all understand this, okay? So I needed to work smarter, not harder. And I needed to do it in something that would, again, appease my type A, so I wouldn't rewrite it. So now when I'm in my digital planner, right, if something's written messy, I can just either instantly redo it, or I'm like, okay, tomorrow when I have a little bit more time, I'll go through and I'll rewrite that page, delete this one, blah, blah, blah. It's so easy to do in the digital planner. It just is. But now I have everything here. And then, so habits, and then I have month end. So every month end, I take notes on that. Yes, the Amy app is great. It is great. You're right. It is great. It's a great tool to have. And like I said, I keep it in my tool bag, right? So that's something in my tool bag that's on my phone, that's on my pad, that's on the computer, wherever it is that I'm working, I have access to it. And I can send out those thank yous. I can do those follow-ups. I can do all of that from there. But like you said, there's also times when you want to write it down, or you need to keep that information. And for me, I was the person, again, type A kicking in, where I was like, I don't have time to sit here and search through Amy and remember who was it that I was talking to on last Wednesday. Crap. Who was it I was talking to? And we had a whole conversation about it. I can't remember. Right? I know y'all have been there in some shape or form or another, right? So I didn't want to have to search through my own memory, because goodness knows I have mom brain and it does not last long. So that short-term memory loss kicked in, and I'd be like, crap, I can't remember who I was talking to. Where did I put that? I know I wrote a note about this. Somebody was looking for white tea and cactus. Who was it? Oh, right? And I'd like spend more time searching my notebooks, searching my notes, searching my Amy, searching wherever, my Facebook messages, the whole 9 yards, right? Again, something I can keep in here. But I have a tab for month end, so every month end, and we'll get into that in just a second, where it ties into perspective. And then I have a tab for training. All right, all of that to tell you this. That was ridiculous. Okay, I'm so sorry. Anyway, so perspective and training really has coincided this year, because oh, Jessie. Oh, I love you. Thank you. Because perspective, right? All of this that I just shared, that was probably a whole bunch of nonsense, right? But all of this that I shared, that was my perspective on how I run my business. And every single time I would sit there and I would think to myself, how could I do this better? That was way before I even got my iPad, right? How can I do this better? That's when I was like, oh, I'll keep a notebook with me at all times, because before the notebook lived, it was Post-it notes or a note out of another notebook that I would tear off and I'd stick in my purse because it was at the corporate job and I had taken notes or whatever on a lunch break. Oh, I need to remember to do that, right? Like, I had notes from everywhere. It was ridiculous. You can relate, Jessie. You can relate. Yeah, it was ridiculous. I needed something better. So then I started notebooks. And then, oh crap, I went to work and now I want to watch this short training on my lunch break, but I don't have my notebook. So now I got to write it on a whole nother piece of paper. And then when I get home, I'm going to have to transcribe it into my notebook so I have it, so I won't forget it, because I'll lose this piece of paper. Right? Insert iPad. And I fell in love with it. I was like, okay, I've got my iPad now. Earned it. Got my iPad. So now, how can I do this better? And then I researched, what should I do? What program should I do? And I looked on YouTube, and I found that the majority of people who were like me, who were taking notes like me and had planners like me and things like that, that GoodNotes 5 was like the way to go. So that's $7.99 one time that I paid that, right? It's a one-time fee to buy the app. It's only $7.99. $7.99. Okay, not 700. I wouldn't have done that if that's what it was, right? That's a better app to me, almost, than Amy is. And Amy is $7.99 a month, right? Now, I still have my Amy. I still use my Amy. Don't get me wrong. But that's how important that my world of Scentsy lives. That's how important it was. I put it right up there at the top. This is my number one thing for business, for me, because that's how it works for me. It may work different for you. So don't try and push yourself into something that's not going to work for you. If you're not going to use it, then it's a wasted tool. Okay? It's a wasted tool. And I will share with you also that I also, if you follow me at all, you know that I try and be very business savvy. Like, what do I invest in my business? Because back in the day, in those years that I was up and coming, right, that I was working towards having a team like I do today, right, and leading like I do today, it was, oh, I have to buy this. This must work for people because I see so-and-so's using it, so that must work. So I have to buy that, right? So I'd buy this, buy that, buy this, buy that. And then I would soon find out that those were wasted purchases because it just didn't work for me. It wasn't me. It wasn't something I used. It didn't really fit with the way that I worked. And so what happened, I had business supplies just sitting around collecting dust that A, cost me money, and B, cost me time because I tried it and realized it didn't work. That was wasted time. But at the same time, I still feel that failing is moving you forward. So you have to be trying to fail because that means that you're learning. Okay, we all know that quote, right? So just because this works for me or for you or whatever does not mean that it's going to work for your team members, your friend who is also a Scentsy consultant, whatever. Just keep that in mind, okay? They need to try out the things that they're going to try out. But I try not to waste money. And so what I did is when I got my iPad, I didn't even buy the pencil right away. I didn't buy the iPad pencil. I was like, okay, because I don't really know if this is going to work, right? Am I going to really use this and keep up with this? So what did I do? I went on Amazon. Right? One of my favorite places to shop. And I went on Amazon and I searched for a stylus that was like comparable and compatible with the 7th gen iPad, which is what I have, the 7th gen. I don't have the Pro. I have the 7th gen. Which pencil is compatible for this? Well, with Apple, it's the 1st generation pencil, okay? On Amazon, I found another, it's just, they call it a stylus, right? But it was compatible It was compatible with the 7th gen iPad. I made sure of that. I read all the reviews. I'm that kind of person. And so I bought it. It was like $30. I was like, okay, let me try this and see if that's going to work for me. And I did. I tried it out for like 2-3 months. And it got to like the end of that 2nd or 3rd month that I turned to Justin. I turned to my husband and I was like, I'm sorry. I'm just going to have to buy the pencil because this is working for me and I want the pencil. Like, I'm ready now. So my advice in all of this is try these things out before you overcommit because it is a lot of money at the end of the day. This is like, what, $75 or something, right? So that's money. If it's not going to work for you, why are you buying it? Because it's just wasted, right? So by all means, try out what is going to work for you. Try it out. If you have a friend that has an iPad, maybe be like, hey, can I either come over or be like, hey, can I borrow your iPad for a day? I don't know. Maybe they would. Maybe it's your mom. Maybe it's a family member, whatever. Can I just borrow it for a little bit? Because I just want to see if this would work for me, right? If that's what you got to do, that's what you got to do. And just see before you actually spend that money. But the whole point of all of this is that here we are, and our family reunion theme is perspective. Again, perspective. Sometimes we have to change our perspective and we have to look at things differently. So for me, like I said, looking at how I can be working smarter, not harder, one of those things, my best example is going digital with everything Scentsy. It worked for me. That was my perspective. Now, also, You have to look at this when it comes to other ways of your business. Because y'all are just like me, right? We look at YouTube, we look at Facebook, we look at the groups, we look at whatever's, and we see that so-and-so is trying this text party. And oh my gosh, they killed it and had like $1,500 in sales and trying out this text party. Try things out. Try things from a different perspective. Try doing something that maybe you normally wouldn't do and see what happens. Now, the lessons are in the trying, right? I will tell you, and I have told you, over the years, right? Facebook parties can, that's my key word in this sentence, can work for me. I have done Facebook parties where I either set it up as like, I set all the posts so they would schedule them right at a certain time. I've done it where I went live. I did it to where I had scheduled everything and like copied and paste in real time kind of thing. Like I've tried it all the different ways. I have had some that have completely, been amazing and done $400 or $500. I've also had Facebook parties that have done the exact same way, but I got 0 in sales. So I could put my perspective on that and say Facebook parties don't work for me anymore. They did, but they don't anymore because my last one flopped. My perspective, though, is sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, right? And when I'm looking specifically, as we're talking about Facebook parties here, when I'm looking at something where I'm doing this from my home, I don't have to get dressed up. I don't have to carry everything with me, right? I can set, and when I do these, I kind of set my bookshelf up. I'll prop things up. If you got to use your kitchen table, if you got to use the dining room table, whatever, right? Set your stuff up so you have it, right? Make it work for you. If you're going to go live, that personally for me has been, when I do them, when I have had success, that works better because people like to see the products. But that doesn't mean that they don't have to, because I have had Facebook parties where it's literally just been pictures, and I have had great parties. Does that happen every time? No. Does that mean that I'm going to stop just because I didn't have a good one? No. Because it's perspective. Maybe next time I'll do something a little bit different. Change it up just a little. See what happens in that one. Maybe I'll invite people differently. Rather than just sending like a mass invitation out to all my Facebook friends, maybe I'll take the time and individually message 10 people and only invite 10 people on Saturday at 7 for 30 minutes and say, hey, I'm going to do this Facebook Live with some of the products that I've got. I'd love if you would join me. And if you have friends, feel free to invite them too. But I'd love for you to join me, because I'd really love your feedback too on what you think is really great. Or, maybe if it's a closer friend, I do this with the closer friends, right? Let me know, like, maybe how I can improve. Like, I lean on those closer friends, right? Those people that I know more better intentionally, right? Exactly, Crystal. You do not know till you try. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And that's how we learn, and that's how we grow. And so maybe, again, like I said, it's more of you change how you invite people. Maybe next time it's how you set up stuff. You actually do stuff that's in person. Maybe you do a live where you just walk around your house and you go to all the places where you have Scentsy in your house. I don't know. I don't know. You can literally do anything, right? And let me tell you this, for those of you who are out there worried, because here's the deal. People don't care if your house is a mess, okay? They don't. At the end of the day, they don't. In fact, sometimes the messy house with the kids' toys all laying around in the middle of the living room floor, and you're like, oh, I want to show you my diffuser. Hold on while I step over the Legos, right? That's real and that's authentic, right? If that's your life. And people can relate to that, right? Because they're also stepping over Legos to get to what they need to do, right? Kids. So if you are able to push yourself out of that comfort zone of saying, oh my gosh, but my house is a mess and I could do it that way, but then people would be like, oh, your room or your house is so messy, or you don't have a whole bunch of stuff, or you only have a couple warmers, or you've got wax that isn't the newer scents, whatever, right? Put all that crap out the door, literally and figuratively. Literally brush it out the front door, because people are going to relate to you to know, yeah, I don't expect my Scentsy consultant to have every single scent. I don't expect my Scentsy consultant to have every single warmer, because if I want to join Scentsy, then my perspective would be, I need to have every single warmer. I need to have every single scent. I have to have all this inventory. Is that true? No. With Scentsy, we are required to have 0 inventory at any time. And what you choose to have is your business, right? It's your business. It's your business, not mine. And it's also with your lifestyle. Do you use Scentsy? I do. When I do my own parties, right? What do I do with my host rewards? I buy the 3 Scentsy cleans, right? Or counter cleans, right? I get them in the bundle because I can't run out of counter clean. It is real. The struggle is real. Leanne, exactly. It makes you relatable. Can people relate to a messy house? My oldest lives with us, right? And her boyfriend, and I will wait until usually, well, I do it all throughout too, because again, type A. I'll do it throughout, but I'll go in and I'll clean the kitchen, wipe everything down with my counter clean. Yeah, I use it. There's certain dishes that I hand wash. There's certain ones that can go in the dishwasher, right? Like, let's say I just, at the end of the day, right, like I go through the kitchen, it's like 10 o'clock at night, Madison's in bed, I walk through the kitchen, I do my whole, cleaning spiel, because hello, mom life, right? That's where I live. And so I do the whole thing, and then it'll never feel like 30 minutes later, my daughter or boyfriend will come up, and then they want to eat dinner. So what do I got to do? I got to walk back into the kitchen after they're done. And yeah, my daughter's really good at trying to clean up a lot of her mess. But again, it's me and my type A. And I'm like, oh, crap, now I got to go back in after her. Anybody else? Right? You clean the living room, and what happens 20 minutes later? The kids have brought out all the toys again. Or, and let me just say this too, Hero the dog is not guilty in this, because I can pick up all of his little squeakies and his balls and his bones and his chew toys and put them all away, and then we'll walk out, and 20 minutes later I can walk right back into the living room, and there's all the balls and all the bones and everything else that I just picked up and put in the damn basket. It's real life. Can people relate to you? Yes. And when they relate to you, then they're more likely to, I know we all know this, like, know, and trust you. Because let's be real, a lot of online with social media is people and the highlight reel, right? It's the good pictures. It's the good hair days, right? Oh, look, I put makeup on today. I'm going to take a selfie, right? Those are the good days. Those are the ones that you post too. But in my story, if you look at, like, I'm the same way, right? Like, I like to post good pictures, right? Don't get me wrong. Yeah, they totally would be lost without us, or living in a pile of ridiculousness. We are essential. But if we are able to make ourselves more relatable, if we're able to show people that you don't have to be perfect to run this business, that you can work it from home, you can work it from your couch. Yesterday I was working my business from the waiting room of the dentist office, because Justin was going in for a dental appointment, right? He's getting a root canal yesterday. And because of COVID, right, I couldn't go back there. So what did I do? Brought my laptop, brought my phone. I didn't have to bring my notebooks though. But you get my point, right? I brought my phone, brought my my iPad. I even brought my earbuds so I can sit there and listen to music because that's what I do when I'm in my office working. Just FYI, that's Jacqui. Right now, I am stuck and literally obsessed with Hamilton. I've watched it at least 25 times, not joking. And I listen to the soundtrack also in the car and when I'm working in my office. Like, that's honestly what's blaring. I'm just obsessed right now. I love it. If you haven't seen it, please go see it, please. Anyway, it's on Disney Plus. Anyway, but we have to put that perspective on to say, what do other people want to see? Do they want to see the clean house that's all the time? Well, maybe, yeah, right? Do we take pride when we clean our house and clean the kitchen? It looks great, and we got the warmers all set up, and everything's perfect, and it looks amazing. Yes, by all means, take the damn picture. But for me personally, I also share the behind the scenes. So if you were to follow me in my Instagram stories, sometimes I also post it on my Facebook stories, but not as much, to be real. I usually live on Instagram more than Facebook. But in those stories, that's when you're going to see me and my house and what it really looks like and everything else. So if that means the toys are on the floor, the toys are on the floor. If that means the dishes haven't been done yet, the dishes haven't been done yet. But I'm still going to take the picture, or I'm still going to share what I'm doing, or if my desk isn't as cleaned off as I'd like it to be, right? Like, that's a big thing for me. Big thing, right? This is my workspace. Type A, right? Like, I need things to be organized, and when it's not, I don't feel in my best working mental space. So I have to clean it because that's how I work better. The perspective you have, you need to remember, is the perspective that other people have too. And so if you're only posting when it's the good hair day or whatever, right? The house is just cleaned, so now I'll post a picture. Get rid of all those thoughts of judgment or comparison or whatever. Because all of that stuff at the end of the day is stupid. Trust me, I had to train my brain to think that way because comparison, it was there for years. Still is from time to time. I still have to push that comparison out the window, right? Because trust me, I am not special or unique, right? Like, I still compare myself to those superstar directors who are killing it out there, right? And I'm like, I want to be her, right? I want to be that way. I want to do this the way that she does that. I want my house to look like hers does, right? Comparison can knock us down. But at the same time, comparison, if you put it in perspective, comparison can also be a driving force. What do you want your life to look like? What do you want your living room to look like, or your house, or whatever, your car, your whatever we're talking about? Put that in your line of vision. How are you going to get there? Well, if you have a 9-to-5 job, then it's putting in the hours, because most of us, unless you're on salary, right, you're working by the hour. You're getting paid by the hour. Well, technically even salary too, right? I mean, you can break it down to by the hour. But in the world of Scentsy, the more time we put into our business, the more intention we put into our business, the more we are sharing our business, the more that we are stepping out of that comfort zone and saying, oh, I'd love to take a picture of this warmer, but my living room is just a mess and I don't want to have to clean it, just take a picture, and I don't want to do that. Who flipping cares if your living room is messy? Take the picture of the warmer and post it. That's real life, real talk. Hashtag real life. Hey girl, hey. Miss Vicky. So change your perspective. I'm trying to always be the perfect whatever. Because you're going to have more people who relate to you because you are not perfect. Because your house does not always look perfect. And again, I'm not saying you got to put all that stuff, like, I'm talking specifically about Instagram, but even on Facebook, right? You don't just specifically, like, make sure, or, stop doing your posts when the kitchen is clean and things like that, right? By all means, take that picture too. But what I like to do is, again, it shows more of me. And I tell my customers and I tell my followers, right? Like, if you want to know the real Jacqui, then you follow my stories. These are the pictures I post. But if you really, I share my life in my stories. Does that make me more relatable? I certainly hope so. Because that's who I am. It's me behind the scenes is kind of how I look at it. And so I think that as we're talking about Scentsy Family Reunion, hopefully if y'all are registered, and if not, if you didn't register for Family Reunion, that's okay. Because hopefully your directors, your upline, your sponsors, whoever, will be sharing a lot of what they're getting out of all of this training. But also at some point, I don't remember if they've even said when, but at some point it will be available in the workstation, all these trainings. But one of the things that you're going to see as you're watching the expo and the breakout sessions right now that are available is you're going to hear from a lot of different people. And I will tell you that, yeah, I haven't made my way through all of them yet. I'm making my way through all of them. I don't even know how many. I've been taking notes too, right? But there's a lot of them, and that's great because I can do a few at a time here, and then after dinner I can do a few more, right? Take my notes, whatever. Some of them are shorter, some of them are longer. But you're going to see as you go through these that there's a lot of different perspectives out there. A lot of people whose lives are way different than mine or yours or your sponsor that you've always talked to, right? You're going to see more of other people. And I really want you to let that sink in because we can get stuck, right? If your sponsor is somebody that you're close to and you're like, I only go with my sponsor, right? Whatever they do, they do. And I only do the train or watch trainings that my sponsor gives me or tells me or that they do, right? Break out of that comfort zone a little bit because you will soon find that there's going to be other people that you can relate to. Trust me. Trust me. And you'll be able to get more of a perspective. And when you're able to key into somebody who you can relate to or somebody who speaks to you. You done 29? I want all in the same category because yes, Vicky, perfect example. She's watching all of them in each category because each person gives a different perspective. And that's exactly right. Because I've been watching them, right? And there's some people, they're all in the same category. They're all doing the, boss up or building business. I don't remember all the different titles right now. But there's like 2 or 3 people in each one doing the same topic, but each one of them are completely different. Some people I relate to better. Some people I don't relate to as much. And that's okay, right? We can see that there are differences in ourselves and in other people and how we do our businesses, right? Madison is sending me a text from her phone. She's just in the other room. Vicky's using her SFR notebook. Boom. See, that's what works for Vicky. I'm using my digital because that's what works for me. I see that. You're loving the girl that said she wasn't going to give any scent circle out. She was going to make sure it was a scent circle innocent that was in the body and laundry. Oh, I lost it again. The body and laundry and cleaning products. That's a great example, right? Right? Because you have to show those customers. And those are things too, right? Like you're like, oh, duh. Like I know that. But it's like, oh, duh, I should be doing that, right? You're seeing things from a different perspective. And to be able to get different things out of all these different speakers is the whole point of SFR. And is the whole point of, I want you to extend this beyond SFR. Because even after next week, when all this is over, I want you guys to keep the same thought patterns that you have right now. Yes, Nikki, totally. Keep watching. Tons of stuff. Keep yourself in that same thought pattern, right? Keep your perspective wider. Don't just stick to only the people that you completely follow all the time, right? Or only your team or whatever, right? Expand that every so often because you're going to learn more And it's going to be things that will help you. Because one of the things that I do every single, and I started to say this at the beginning and totally didn't finish. I thought I just realized. But one of the things that I do the last week of every month before we start the new month is I look back on my business. And I can do that from my digital, but you can do that from your paper planners and notebooks as well, right? I look back because every single day I track numbers. Every single day, I open my workstation, I write down my PRV, my group's PRV, my team WV, how many people I've sponsored. I write it all down, like all the stats, right? Like every single day, I write it all down, write it all down, write it all down. So I can look back on every single month and I can say, okay, this worked for me, this didn't work for me, right? I'll look at really great sales because people were totally all over that Perry the Platypus. So next time, what am I going to do? I'm going to learn from that, right? Next time, when Scentsy comes out with, and I'm sure that they will, because hello, they're Scentsy, and now we have Disney, right? So the next time they come out with something that's more like Disney Channel, I'm going to know that I have a customer base for that, right? Yes, Stephanie, she's learned so much. She can't wait to implement it. Start today, babe. Start today. Oh, Nikki, oh, thank you. We do, right? We have to like edit ourselves and be like, what did I do that was great? What did I do that sucked? Because let's be real. We all do something that sucks sometimes more than I'd like to admit, right? There's a lot of things that I wish I could change. A lot of things that I've done that I'm like, oh, I completely sucked at that. And that's what you got to do. So keep that perspective as you move on past family reunion. I want you to keep this momentum going, okay? Take what you're learning from SFR in the breakout sessions and the expo sessions right now. Take the time to get in there, even if it's, and trust me, I'm that mom too, right? I'm in the middle of cooking dinner, but I've got the pad or the phone sitting there and I'm literally listening. I mean, it's on, I may not be watching it, but I'm listening, right, to those tradings. Fit it in when you got to fit it in. And if that means you stay up an extra 10 minutes to watch one, stay up an extra 10 minutes. If you got to wake up an extra 10 minutes, wake up an extra 10 minutes. Make the time. Because it's important for you, it's important for your business, and if you want to grow, then you got to grow. And you got to give yourself room to grow. And you have to give yourself the opportunity to grow. Why? Because you are worth it. You are worth it. Your business is worth it. Think of your why. Why are you doing all of this? For the family, to make the car payment, to pay off the bills, set up college fund, whatever it is, buy a house, get the groceries. Let's do this. Take what we're learning, move it, and keep it going. So take those notes, however you take the notes, whether it's digital, whether it's paper. Take the notes. So tomorrow we have general session 1. General session 1 is tomorrow. And then on Thursday, we've got general sessions 2 and 3. Oh, Stephanie, great idea. So if it's a scent that's in other products, what she's doing is she writes it on the scent circle wrapper so the customer knows that it's also available in the other product. Great tip. I love that. I am totally going to use that. Hello from New Zealand. Oh, thank you, Dawn. Always good to hear from you. So we've got lots of stuff coming up tomorrow and on Thursday, right? Yeah, Wednesday and Thursday. Gosh, what day is it? So we've got lots of stuff coming. Next week, I'll be sharing a lot of my takeaways. And I will say my shameless plug during general session 3, when they do annual mentor, please watch for this chick. Because Jacqui Duran, hello, I earned annual mentor this year. And that award has humbled me in more ways than you know, but is the one that I am most proud of. Most proud of. Most proud of is Annual Mentor. So be watching, because during General Session 3, they're going to be going over annual sales. So if you earned annual sales, I'll be watching for you. And then if you also earned Annual Mentor, I'll be watching for you as well. But definitely check it out, because I'll be on Annual Mentor. And we did something really fun. So I hope it comes out. I obviously haven't seen the final thing, so I'm excited too to see what it actually looks like. Thank you, Sharon. So I'm excited to see it, but definitely watch and let me know what you think. I'm excited. Thank you, Heather. All right, guys, I have totally gone over time, I know, and I'm so sorry. But hopefully this kind of gives you an idea of some things that you can take away from Family Reunion this year. Share, share, share. I can't say that enough. Do you know how many messages I've gotten just from sharing on my stories and on my feed and on Facebook and everything else of people who were previous consultants are like, oh my gosh, I didn't know all this was happening. Thank you for sharing this, because now I'm thinking about rejoining Scentsy. Hello. Share, share, share. Share your business, how you're doing it. Share, because that shows people, right? Relatability. That shows them how you can work your business and either work a job, be a mom, whatever, right? And still do this business. Share what you're doing. You never know who you're going to inspire. You never know. Jessie, thank you, from Oklahoma. You never know who you're inspiring. You never know. So keep sharing. Keep sharing. Keep sharing. Tag me on social media if you want to. I will share you too. I will shout you out as well. So I love you all. Have a great tomorrow and Thursday especially, but a great rest of your week. And for everybody during this time more than ever, Crystal, you know you have our thoughts and prayers. Peace, love, happiness. Bye, YouTube.